So today we're going to talk about burnout, and more specifically, renovation burnout. Now, we had a really busy year last year. We did a lot of stuff, and we'll maybe give you a quick recap of that in a second. But at the end of the year, we were absolutely exhausted. We'd sort of achieved the goal that we wanted to achieve, but not entirely. And we said that we were going to take a couple of weeks off. And we have done that. And then we took another couple of weeks off, and we realized that we're still absolutely shattered. And it's actually more than just being a bit tired or being a bit tired of the project. We realized that we were pretty burnt out from everything that we did last year. And so in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about that because we like to be open and honest and transparent with you all. But more importantly, we're going to talk about what we're going to do about it and how we're going to try and fix the problem and hope that it doesn't happen again. So for a bit of context, in case you have no idea what I'm talking about, let's go through some of the highlights of what we did last year.
As you can see, we had a very busy year. We got a lot of results, which we were very, very happy with. But at the end of the year, we were very tired. And I think a bigger consequence of being so busy on the renovation is lots of other things didn't get done. And those things not getting done meant we saw them all the time and they weren't done. And that added another level of anxiety. So for example,
look at the grass.
We have not mowed here since March last year.
No, May.
Yeah, the beginning of fire season. There's a load of improvements and fixes we need to do to the chicken coop. We have not got around to it. The garden, we have not really touched it since we planted the winter crops, and it's a disaster. And there's so many other things that when we walk around, there's piles of this and piles of that we've never got around to kind of finishing, tidying up. I'm not going to call it stress, but there's definitely a renovation anxiety, quite a bit of perhaps unhappiness, frustration. We still try to be happy and keep a positive spin to everything because that's who we are. But underneath that, there is still quite a bit of angst. And we know that this project is really big and we know it's going to take us a really long time, no matter how fast we go. So we want to try and take what we've learnt this year and find a way of progressing with the build, but also taking care of all this other stuff that we need to take care of and enjoy our life a little bit more at the same time, if that's possible.
Yeah, and on one hand, that might actually sound like we're taking on even more, because we're going to do renovation stuff and more gardening stuff and more chicken stuff and more and more and more and more and more. But really, it's going to be all about balance. And that is why we moved here to Portugal in the first place. We used to have very busy lives back in the UK, in London. We worked too much. We didn't socialize enough. We had all sorts of things that we were trying to achieve, goals and financial stuff and all kinds of things that we were trying to work towards. And so we wanted to move here, slow down, relax, enjoy the sunshine a bit more, and get out and see this beautiful country. And we haven't really been able to do that because we've been working so hard and focused on goals and getting into the house and doing all the renovation work and stuff like that, which, let me be clear, we do enjoy, but it is sometimes a bit too much. It's a bit overwhelming. We enjoy our life here. We enjoy this beautiful country. We enjoy being able to share what we're doing with you to inspire people to do something similar perhaps, but we're really bad at putting unnecessary pressure and deadlines on ourselves because we are quite driven people. And when we don't hit those, because they were completely unrealistic in the first place, we beat ourselves up, we get down, we get overwhelmed, and that isn't fun for us, and it's probably not fun for you to watch either. So, what are we going to do about it?
So, one thing we're going to do, hold on a second. It is January and it's like spring has sprung already. It's getting quite warm.
It's very warm.
It's lovely. One of the things we're going to do this year is go back to kind of what we did the first year that we were here, which is we did a little bit of everything. We like doing lots of different things. It also means when you get up one day and you're not in the mood for renovating, for example, you can be like, what else could I do that I really enjoy doing or that I want to do that isn't whatever it is that you don't want to do. And our future vision of our life is kind of getting up every morning, having a cup of coffee and being like, what should we work on today? What project? And so we're going to go with that kind of mentality this year. We're going to set a much smaller renovation goal. And we're going to do a whole video on what the actual things we're going to do this year are. But that is going to be such a small part of what we want to do because we want to do so much more. And we want to start doing and sharing with you some of the personal projects that we are interested in and that we do when we're not renovating that we don't really share with you. I mean, my crocheting and knitting is one thing, but we have lots of other personal projects that we work on alongside of renovating and gardening. It will be a much more wider variety of stuff. It will still be making, doing and growing, but it just will be less about the house and more of a holistic view of all the things that we do.
Now, this may be excellent news for some of you because we've had many comments in the past about people saying they love the variety, they love that they never know what they're going to get when they tune in every week, and it's always really interesting to see our take on all the different things that we're doing and the way that we're doing them. But I'm sure that there are some other people who are like, I'm really just interested in the renovation, so that sucks. But don't worry, we have lots of renovations still to do. I mean, literally years worth of it. So there'll be plenty more to come. It may just be that there's not a renovation video every single week, but we are going to continue filming as much of it as we can, and we will bring you all the updates as soon as we have them.
And we just want to also make it clear that we're not trying to be all self-absorbed and it's all about us and, poor us, we're all overwhelmed and stressed out. But what we do want to do is kind of share the reality of these kind of projects. This is a really big project and I don't know if it's bigger than what we thought. It's definitely slower than what we thought as two people. And so we wanted to share what we're learning along the way. And funnily enough, people have been telling us all year last year, slow down, you need to rest more, you need to play. And I was like, yeah, but we just need to get this done.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
And we finally learned in January when we started to slow down and have some rest that we need more rest. So we wanted to find a way to share that with you, the learnings that come from burnout, and the way that we're going to try, and it's just an experiment to see if this works, but I know for sure in our first year here, we loved doing all the different things. I'm pretty sure it's going to work for us. It may not work for everyone. But yeah, I think it's important to share the reality of the situation. You know, you get to see a 30-minute video every week, and for sure that doesn't come across as anything like our actual lives. But it's important to talk about this stuff. You know, mental health and overwhelm, exhaustion are real things. And so, yeah, I hope that those who are also doing renovation projects take some comfort in the fact that it's, you know, it happens to everyone. We wanted to make it evident that it's not all, you know, rainbows and unicorns here, that there are some down days, there are some tough days, and there's definitely a lot of exhaustion.
So essentially, we're going to do a classic undo redo, but on our lives, not just on some project that we've made some mistake on. And I think it's important to sometimes stop and reassess and make some changes. I mean, it would be stupid to stop and reassess and not make any changes. And so we're trying to be aware of all this stuff, and we're going to try and do something about it. We don't know all the details yet. We have some ideas of what we want to do both in the house and in the garden and in some of these other projects. We've also got some ideas for some slightly different kinds of videos, different styles of videos, maybe different lengths of videos, but we're not trying to rush all of those answers right now. We're going to take a bit more time, think it through, come up with a plan, and then bring everything to you as we go. But one thing we do know is next week's video is going to be a much more in-depth version of our renovation plans. And so we'll take you through some of the ideas that we've got for that, some of the goals that we're going to set for that. They're going to be a lot less ambitious than they have been in previous years. And primarily they're going to be focused around getting more comfortable in the house. Anyway, we'll save all of that for the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Do you want to do a different ending this year?
Oh, yeah, let's do a different ending. Can I say it in Portuguese? Can you do the thing in Portuguese and I'll do the thing in Portuguese?